Hey guys, it's Sam, and today I'm going to be talking about if I enjoyed the books that I had on my most anticipated list for 2023. So admittedly, I did not have a ton on my most anticipated list. I mentioned that in this year's video for 2024, so I'll link on the screen if you're interested in stuff coming out next year that I'm interested in. I have a lot on that list. This year, I only had like 9 books, and 3 of them didn't even have release dates. I'll get to that. So not a big list, but did I read them? Did I like them? Let's get into it. First was Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo, which I have not read and do not even own. I was so convinced I was going to get to this like so fast. I have been to the bookstore and seen this on the shelves multiple times, picked it up, almost bought it, and then went no, and haven't yet. So I fully intend to read this. I asked for this for Christmas. I could see someone buying it for me, maybe. I can also see myself buying it if I don't have it within the first half of next year, probably. But yeah, I just haven't super prioritized it. I think probably the biggest thing with this is that like no one talked about it. I still don't know what people generally think of Hellbent. I think I've heard just kind of like, the few things I've heard have been just kind of like, eh, or like second bookie, eh. I've heard nothing. Again, in comparison to how many people talked about Ninth House and had Ninth House on like their favorites of the year or whatever. So I think just the lack of buzz about it made me completely forget about it for most of the year. Next was Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, which is the last book in the Last Hours, I think, series? Yeah, The Last Hours. So this is the finale, and it was fine. This was like a 3-star book. It is much too long. I thought I was going to like it more. The first 2 books in the series, I think I gave 4 stars. They were just like solid, good fun. This was when it started to get really redundant. It is far too big. Like, I don't think you can see, or maybe you can see them on my shelf. Like, this is, like, at least this much bigger than the other ones. Like, just, they're all long, and it doesn't need to be. So, I wrapped this up. I read it, but not as anticipated, like, and worthy of the hype in my heart that I had for it. I mean, I don't have the highest expectations for these, but I still was like, this is going to be a solid good time. When I was reading it, I was like, this is fine, but also when will it be over? Then, A Day of Fallen Night by Samantha Shannon. I have not read this. Is this an arc? Yes, it is. Is she super intimidating? Yes. This came out like February of this year, and I still have not read it. I am not going to reread the Prior of the Orange Tree, even though I said maybe I would. I'm not going to do that. This is a prequel. I don't need to, but I haven't read it yet. I've recommended this book and this like overall series to multiple people. I'm like, yeah, read the Lesbian Dragon book. There's a prequel. I hear it's really good. Have I read it yet? No. I've had like friends buy it when they're with me. So it still is sitting high in my heart. I also put it on my like guessing my next like top 5 TBR. What's the name of that? 5-star TBR guesses kind of thing. I put that on the list. This is the last thing I have to read. It's just so chunky. And towards the end of the year, it's like, I can't be reading books this long, she says, as she literally read Ship of Magic like this month. But I had to prioritize either that or this, and that had to come first because it's been like years in the making. So haven't read this yet, but hope to read it in the beginning of the new year. I hope. I want to. The Last Tale of the Flower Bride by Rashi Chakshi. This I have not read yet, but I now own. Thank you to Jordan, my friend Jordan, who got me this for Christmas. This I just didn't own. And I just hadn't picked up yet, and I was trying to prioritize things on my shelf. Sort of. We'll get to how that went when I wrap up like my year and everything. But yeah, haven't read this yet, but want to, and probably will in the winter, this winter. So yeah, still looking forward to this. And people who have read it, I've heard great things. So I'm excited. The Adventures of Amina El-Sarafi by Shannon Chakraborty. I read this, loved it, 5 stars, one of my favorites of the year, so I won't talk about it a lot here, but this was a good time. Then Happy Place by Emily Henry, my only anticipated romance read, and always, like every year, this is true, but this was also a joy for me. I think I ended up giving it like 4 to 4.5 stars. Something kept it from being quite a 5, but I read and enjoyed this. Then the rest of the books on my list for this year were not released, so I haven't read them. First is Heavenly Tyrant by Siren J. Zhao. I have that on the list for this year now. It did not come out, it got delayed. I also mentioned Electo the Ninth that I thought was gonna come out this year. It did not. And because I am a clown, every year I mention The Thorn of Emberlane. I mentioned it again this year. It also did not come out. So yeah, of the 6 books that I had highly anticipated last year, I only read 3 of them. But also, like, I wasn't necessarily prioritizing new releases this year because not a ton were coming out. I'm even still feeling like, what were the big releases of this year? I don't know. As far as, like, quality, right? If someone says Fourth Wing in my comments, I'm going to scream. Other thing, like, I just don't know what were the released and super hyped things. So yeah, but comment below. Let me know how your most anticipated reading went for this year. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.